Students of Reddit, have you ever lost your temper with a teacher? What's your story? My second grade teacher was Sister Bridget. She didn't like me at all. One day I was feeling ill, and I asked to use the restroom. She told me I was lying. As she tried to tell me why I was a liar, I vomited all over her shoes. I once had some kind of stomach pain, the worst pain I've felt my whole life, and was in science class. I started groaning in agony in first fucking row, and my bud next to me said I needed to leave and go to the hospital. I wanted to, but my teacher the cunt ignored me and the tears that had now started streaming down my face. A minute later I just stood up, walked to the door, and as soon as she tried to talk shit, I told her to pipe the fuck down and walked out with a raised middle finger. Then I proceeded to throw up in the trash outside. Good times. I'd have brought that trash can back into the classroom and set it down pointedly in front of her. I definitely considered it, but I was in dire need of medical attention. A friend of mine wanted to go to a certain university that was out of state and somewhat tough to get into. The counselor told him not to waste his time as he would never get in. This pissed him off, so he went to the principal, who told him to trust the counselor as that was her job. He applied anyways, got accepted, and taped 2 copies to the counselor and principal's door. He couldn't afford to go anyways, but he was trying to prove a point. I had an English teacher like this too. Nobody believed me until she randomly decided to make us do posters. Due the next day. I went above and beyond, because I knew she liked crafty shit and figured she couldn't possibly give me a bad grade if I was creative. Oh, this poster is wonderful. Who made it? I did. And she literally threw it in the trash. Is it possible they graded your paper with the wrong score? The way it ended makes it seem like either they were being malicious, and then you leaving is 100% right, or possibly they mean to give this grade to someone else, possible brain fart. Reading his first few sentences suggests that this was not the first time he got fucked by the teacher. When I was in 8th grade, my science teacher decided the day before the last test of the year to give us an extra 16 pages of new material to learn by ourselves and appear in the test. Needless to say, everyone lost their shit and started complaining. I wrote her an angry letter. I was later forced either to apologize or they would tell my parents. I apologized because I may have been a little inappropriate, and by the end of the year she was fired after her first year in the school. She also thought it was a good idea to bring her dogs to part of the lessons in the science lab, when there are 2 kids who are allergic to dogs. After months of failing me because I couldn't do the problems his way, which multiple tutors told me was the hardest way of learning, and most of his 2 classes were failing, he accused me of cheating on the final exam. It's 2 weeks before I graduate high school. I've been failing because you and the administration have your heads up your asses, and you think I'm gonna cheat on the final fucking exam. Not me, but a girl flipped shit on my economics professor cause she kept canceling class without sending out emails. The girl only had that class on Fridays and drove an hour to get there. It sucked she got caught in traffic, just to get a note next to the classroom saying cancelled. My college did the same thing to part-time students. We make special arrangements to leave work earlier on days that we have classes, so that we can get through the rush hour traffic in time. And then when we get there we find out the class has been cancelled. At this age in technology they should be using an e-notice board or forum system to send out mass announcements, or at the very least email. You'd be surprised how many professors are still computer illiterate. I had a teacher throw a soft-cover dictionary at my face once. He was and still is my favorite teacher I've ever had. I had a teacher throw a book at the kid in front of me. The kid dodged, and the book hit me instead. Can confirm the teacher was both of our favorites. That is an unacceptable response from her. You must really be out of your mind to say something like that. Unacceptable is putting it lightly. You need to plan your days better. Well, excuse me for not planning for an unexpected death of a friend. When I was a student, yes. I was in food tech and the teacher yelled at me for carrying a fucking cracker. By the middle of the lesson, she told me I was doing something wrong. I wasn't, so I yelled back at her, and I'm pretty sure I told her to fuck off. I was the quiet, polite student. Everyone was in shock. A teacher whose class was at noon would assign homework due at 5 that night. I told him I would still be in class, and he told me to tell my other professors that I need to take 5 minutes from their class to do his homework.